Okay, guys, so I want to do a really fun list, something that I haven't done yet, underrated Marvel comics. Now, listen, Marvel has a huge list of comics, and there's some that I haven't even read yet that I want to read that are considered underrated, so maybe I'll make another list in the future for all those other series, but these comics are ones that I actually read that I've looked at and I think are underrated, and some of them might be popular characters, but the run itself is never talked about. I never see it in discussions. It doesn't have the critically acclaim that other series do. So these might be popular characters or popular organizations in the Marvel universe that just didn't get the love or recognition, and I'm here today to tell you what you should pick up right now. I'm going to start off with number 5 with Spider-Man Tangled Webs. Now, there's 100 different Spider-Man series you can really jump into, and some excellent ones like Ultimate Spider-Man. But this one is kind of a hard sell in a way because there's multiple stories in each of this series, and I didn't even love all of them. But that's what makes it special. What makes this special is that they are separate stories. So say you're reading one issue and you're not really feeling the storyline, that's okay because the next one's going to be a different writer and it's a whole different storyline. And that's what makes it really fun, is that you kind of get caught up in all these underworld type stories. None of these stories are really big, bombastic event type stories. They're just kind of focus on either Peter Parker or things around Spider-Man's life, and some of these issues are excellent. There's one really, really great Kingpin story, and it really relates to Spider-Man in a dark and sinister way. So I really enjoyed this series for being different than anything else I've ever read, and Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes, if not my favorite, and this is something that needs to be picked up by both fans of Spider-Man and some people who don't like Spider-Man but want something a little different, but it contains to the Spider-Man universe. I think you should check this one out. Coming in at number 4 is Secret Avengers. Let me make it clear though, we're speaking about Alex Knotts. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. He only had a very short series. I think actually most Secret Avenger series are short. But anyway, it is just a fucking fun as hell Avengers title that I didn't even know about, and when I read it, I really couldn't stop. It reminds me a lot of the Hawkeye style with the terms of the art direction. And if I'm talking about Hawkeye, obviously Matt Fraction's run. However, it has this great freaking over-the-top action scenes, great chemistry between all the characters, and it just really makes you sit back and enjoy these Avengers because these are the ones that no one really talks about. And it has Spider-Woman in it. So, you guys know by now Spider-Woman's my, I love her. She's my wifey in comic verse. Anyway, it's very short-lived. It's only 15 issues. It's 3 volumes, and it's by Alex Knotts, so check out his Secret Avengers. I can't say the quality of the other Secret Avengers from other writers, but his Secret Avengers is super fun and bombastic. Check it out. Coming in at number 3 is Agent Venom. In a surprise twist, a series I never thought I'd like, I fell in love with. Sure, Venom is a pretty big character, so it's easy to see, well, of course I've read it, but Venom himself is popular, the character. But the comics, well, let's be honest, they haven't been very good at least. So this is an underrated series because Rick Remender decided to change that shit. Flash Thompson, you remember, Peter Parker, he was the bully, he became a super big Spider-Man fan, went into the army, lost his legs. Well, guess what? He's back, and now he's using the Venom suit in a very different way than you expect. Instead of just being this mindless monster, hating creature thing, parasite, whatever the fuck you want to consider Venom, symbiote. Anyway, this is a suit that he uses now for a limited time, gets the power of Venom, and he gets to go around on secret missions with the government, helping people and so on, and then he has to take the suit off in a timely manner, otherwise he becomes the Venom. But it's really awesome because he isn't crippled, he doesn't have any legs, so when he's Venom he gets to be this hero, but when he's not, he's Flash Thompson. But is Flash Thompson more than that? That's what I like about this series. The series takes a really deep look into the life of Flash, and it just does an amazing job, and it also does a great job of balancing villains, some excellent action pieces, and Flash's personality, and just this wonderful, I believe, 22 issue run that's worth picking up. You can actually pick up both parts of it by collecting the complete collection part 1 and part 2 from Amazon, or reading it on Marvel Unlimited. I highly recommend this. This actually changed my mind on Venom, and I really did enjoy it. Coming at number 2 is Daredevil. Now you're saying, what? Daredevil is obviously a very well-known series, a very well-known character. True. Now, when you enter the comic world, though, when you start reading comics, you'll notice two big things when you hear Daredevil's name. The two writers, Bendis and Frank Miller. And to be fair, those guys did really redefine the character. And I truly do believe Bendis as the best Daredevil writer we've ever had and probably ever will have unless someone comes along and does something better. I absolutely love that run. However, we're going to talk about Ed Brubaker's. So Ed Brubaker's is the series that came in between Bendis and Mark Waid's. Yes, we're going to skip Shadowland. Fuck that shit. But this series, to me, is something different. Now, you know, Mark Waid's is fun, but uneven. And now Charles Soule, he is writing the current Daredevil. It's good, just not great. Ed Brubaker's run is excellent, if you ask me. It's almost as good as Bendis and far better than Frank Miller's run for me. Ed hits all the right notes, and some of the best arcs of all time from Daredevil are in this series. I actually really love Devil in the Cell, I think it's called, I believe, or on D Block or something like that. It's truly this like amazing storyline where Daredevil gets put into prison. He wants to be there. Punisher comes along. It's fucking awesome. But there's also some great character moments and some awful, terrible things happen to Daredevil, Matt Murdock, and it just really is the end of the era of the sad Daredevil, because then Mark Waid comes and makes it more fun. But I really loved Ed Brubaker's run, and I hold it as the second best of all time. So definitely check out his run on Daredevil. All right, and number one is the big one, XFactor. Now, let me make it plain and clear. We're talking about XFactor from Peter David, and this is from the pretty much early 2000s, or I guess mid-2000s, you would say. I'm going to be 100% honest before I get into this spiel I'm about to go on. I've only read the miniseries that came before it, which is not needed, but adds to the character Multiple Man. And then you got the 2 complete volumes after. That's all I've read so far. I'm actually currently reading this series, but it left such a big impression, I had to put it as my number one. So this is about, and sorry if I'm saying it's right, maybe it's not Multiple Man. I call him Multiple Man because basically he is Multiple Man. When you hit him, he creates multiple copies of himself, but they all have their unique own personality that stems from the character. But he is the main guy here, and he decides to make an agency to help mutants and other people, but really mutants. And it kind of reminds me of like if Angel went mutant, and it's really a fun series, but it's also just truly amazing how this series just slipped under my radar. It has very strong characters, a wonderful amount of interaction between all these characters that you might not even know, or some you might know when they come in. It just works so well. I love the art in this. I think it's really unique and different, and the story just keeps like twisting and turning, and for me to be surprised in comics is, you know, hard, or any media, so that's great too. So this series is criminally underrated and should be picked up by any fan of X-Men or anybody who likes more of like maybe a noir or criminal type story. XFactor's definitely worth checking out. Alright, so that brings my list of underrated to a close. Now listen, there's a lot of series that I wanted to get to that I didn't, like Carnage and other series that really surprised me in terms of underrated. And what I think I might do is maybe do one top 5 comics no one read, because I think some of these people read, but to me are just underrated in terms of actually people talking about how good they are. So anyway, put your list below of comics that you would like to talk about in terms of underrated. You know, don't put like Amazing Spider-Man by Dan Slott, because that fucking thing is read everywhere and pretty much critically liked, and most people talk about it. I want to see some series that no one's read, or people that have read that never talk about it, and list them below. This is my list. I hope you enjoyed, and everyone have a good